It looks like a simple task. Just sit down and finish homework, like every other child. When asked if it's done, the answer comes quickly, almost too quickly to be real. They say it's finished, not because it is, but because they don't know how to explain it. The work isn't done, but starting feels harder than anyone else can see from the outside. It's not that they won't do it, it's that their brain won't let them begin easily. Time moves forward, but they stay stuck, watching minutes pass while the task remains untouched. They try, but it doesn't flow, and stopping feels easier than continuing through the discomfort. When it doesn't come easily, they stop, not because they don't care, but because it feels impossible. When asked again, the pressure grows, and honesty feels harder than just saying yes. They repeat the answer, not because it's true, but because they feel trapped between truth and fear. And then, it's seen, the work isn't done, and the truth becomes impossible to hide. In that moment, they don't know what to say, so their body simply freezes. It's not just about the homework anymore, it's the feeling of getting it wrong again. From the outside, it looks like lying, but inside, it feels like something much heavier. And this is where the pattern begins. Not dishonesty, but a cycle of overwhelm, avoidance, and quiet fear. After being caught, they return to the task, but now it feels even heavier than before. They want to start, but their brain won't organize the steps, and everything feels stuck at once. What looks small to others can feel impossibly big when their brain doesn't know where to begin. When something feels overwhelming, the brain looks for anything easier to focus on instead. Time passes again, not because they chose to ignore it, but because they didn't know how to return. When the question returns, so does the pressure, and the same difficult choice appears again. They're not afraid of getting in trouble, they're afraid of disappointing someone they care about. In that moment, they're choosing between honesty and relief feels easier to reach. They say yes again, not to deceive, but to escape a moment that feels too heavy. And just like that, a pattern begins. Overwhelm, avoidance, pressure, and then the same answer again. Inside, they know it's not true, but they don't yet know how to do it differently. They want to do well, they care more than it seems, even when their actions don't show it. But wanting to try doesn't always mean they can move forward when their brain feels stuck. After trying and stopping again, what remains is not defiance, but quiet emotional exhaustion. They don't lie because they don't care. They lie because the truth feels too hard to face in that moment. The cycle begins to change when the reaction changes, when pressure is replaced with calm and quiet understanding. When the question changes, the child no longer feels trapped, they begin to feel understood instead. When we name the struggle for them, they don't have to hide it anymore. It starts to feel real. Honesty begins in small moments, when it finally feels safer to be real than to avoid. When the task becomes smaller, it no longer feels impossible, it becomes something they can actually begin. With support beside them, they begin. Not perfectly, but in a way that finally feels possible. For the first time, the task feels manageable. Not because it's easy, but because they're supported. Trust grows when they feel safe telling the truth, and safe not having everything figured out yet. When honesty feels safe, they begin to share, even if they don't have the right words yet. A new pattern forms, one built on support instead of pressure, and honesty instead of avoidance. They begin to carry this feeling forward, knowing they can try without fear of getting it wrong. When the question changes, honesty becomes easier, and the need to hide begins to fade. What matters now isn't perfection, it's progress, and the confidence that comes from trying. They realize the problem was never dishonesty. It was overwhelm, fear, and not knowing where to begin. They didn't lie because they didn't care. They were overwhelmed. And with support, They learn to be honest.